welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a small service on the Audi TT. It's the smallest one they did. It's a 1.8, but it's only 160 horsepower. It is a turbo, but it's the lowest power one they do. It's only two-wheel drive, and we've got the car up on jacks. If you're going under your car, always use the jack stands. Never rely on that jack. If that piston fails, you're toast. So the first job is to get this cover off. They have a big black plastic cover underneath TTs with lots of these little Torx. These are a T20 Torx. You have to take all these out, and there's a few black plastic clips with the push-in centres. You have to push them in and that'll pull out, and then you can reuse those as you're careful. They're cheap on eBay if you mess any of them up or there's any missing. And it goes right back to, there's a couple right on a flap at the back there, and it slides in at the front on these fingers. These are actually physically fastened in. Don't undo these are attached to it. It'll come back once we undo all the side ones. So I'm going to undo all the screws, take the cover off, and then we'll have a look at where the oil drain plug is. Okay, so the big cover's now off. I'll just take you on a tour of what you don't need to take out. So these are all the fingers at the front of the car. So you don't need to take out any of these ones that are on this like spoilery type thing at the front. Remember, this is top is front, and on this one here, there's a bit further back. Don't need to take that one out, that one out. You only need to take the two Torx out at the back. You need to take all the Torx out that are in this back area, and then the same on this side. You need to take the bottom two out, which are Torx, and then all the plastic clips and these top Torx and clips. You don't need to remove any of these. So if you take all these other ones out, this will slide back and drops out. So back under the car, this is the gearbox here. This is the sump of the engine, and on the side here is the oil drain plug. Now they always advise that you buy a new one of these. They're only like £6 or £7. You can get them readily on eBay, and they always advise you throw the old one away. So I've got a new one of those. It takes about 4 to 5 litres of oil. I've got that, and then we're also going to change the oil filter, which Audi handily put up here. I don't know if you can see my hand flapping about. I've got my hand on the bottom of the oil filter. Thanks Audi, could you have put it in a more awkward place to get to? And if it's tight, what a more awkward place could you have thought of to get a wrench on it to get it undone? So, having done this in the past, there's a good chance we're going to have to stick a screwdriver through this to get it loose. I have got an oil filter wrenchy thing, so we'll see if we can even get that in the gap to get it out. First thing though is I'll bring in a socket to get this off, and I've got an oil drainer, a plastic oil drain pan, so it can capture all the oil to take it to the tip. Please don't, put it down the drain. We'll get this open, drop all the oil out, and then we'll attack the filter. Okay, almost ready for doing the oil. Here is the oil pan thing I bought. It's a Sealy one. When you're dropping the oil out, you have to take this yellow plug out here, so the oil can drop into this part and go down the hole. Don't forget to also take this one out, because if you don't, the air can't escape and all the oil kind of blugs and throws itself all over the place and makes a right mess. So we put that roughly where the oil's going to come out. And don't forget that the oil is going to kind of projectile vomit its way out in an arc, so probably put it further forward than you think it's going to be. Here's the new plug. This is a 19mm spanner to get this out. So we're going to take that one out and we'll replace it with this one when it's empty. Right, and the eagle-eyed view, or the spotted faux pas number 1, I can't get a spanner on. There isn't enough room. The casting comes right down to the nut, but there is enough room for a socket. So we'll get this off, oil out. When that's finished dripping, new plug back in, and only hand tighten it. You don't have to be evil to it. It doesn't have to be really tight when you put it back. Okay, so we've nearly got the plug out. Let's see if I can get out the camera's way to show you. Here she comes. You see what I mean? That really projects a long way across. So just wait until that's finished. all the oil because it will slowly get further and further across. Make sure you don't drop it on your driveway, and then we'll screw the new plug back in. The other thing to remember while you're doing this is to take the oil filler cap off on the top of the engine so the air can get in. And again, it'll stop this stream of oil gurgling and spitting oil everywhere. Right, time to do the oil filter. The oil filter is behind this bar. Let's see if I can give you a better view of it. It's where my fingertips are. There, you can see the bottom of it there. Now, I've just tried this and I can get this undone with my hand, believe it or not. Zoom out. Right, this is only hand tight, which is how it ought to be, and guess why? It's because I changed it last time. So the first time I came to do this on this car, it had always been serviced by Audi, and I nearly needed a breaker bar to get it off. So what makes people think they need to do that tight? I've got no idea. So oil pan is underneath, because you can bet your life some oil's going to come out when I take this off. So we undo this, and hopefully before, here comes all the oil. Right, I'm probably going to put the camera down and do this with both hands, because if the oil stream moves, I won't be able to move my oil pan because I've got the camera in my hand. So I'll take the filter off and we'll show you the old one, and we'll show fitting the new one. Right, so the oil filter's out, it's draining into the pan. Now, I've got the new one here. Here's the new one. It's good practice to smear some oil on this rubber ring. It's also good practice to fill the filter with oil, with fresh oil before you put it up, but it's so awkward to get up and round this bar. I'm just going to end up pouring oil all over the floor, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to take the hit that you know, the oil filter has to fill before the oil can get to the rest of the engine. But you know, this is a 14-year-old car. I'm not really that bothered. I've got to insert this up here, screw it back on, hand tight, and then a bit of a twist for luck. Don't over tighten it, but obviously you need to have it tight enough that it doesn't vibrate loose and come off. That would not be good, but don't go mad. It doesn't need, you know, you don't need to lean on it, just so it's secure. Okay, so we're done under here. We can put the big plastic cover back on again and screw all those Torxes back in. So you have to insert those fingers in the front. I always find it's easy, lift it up, and there's a couple at the back that are quite easy to find. Stick those in first and then feel your way around and fill all the others in. There are some weird nuts in the wheel arches on either side that need to go in as well. If you don't get these in, they stick out and they hit the tyre. When you're turning, you know, severe left and right hand bends, you'll hear that rattling on the tyre, which ain't great. So make sure you get those in too. These are flatheads for some reason. You know, back to the 1970s, but hey ho, Audi. Put this back on, and then up top we're going to do the air filter and fill the oil back up. So this is always an incredible joy of a job, putting this thing back on. Now, what you need to look for when you do this, these tabs with the pointy down bits, you should still be able to see those. They go on this side, i.e. your side of this front bit, this front black plastic bit, and the other tabs that are straight go behind it. So you get it roughly in the middle and line up these, and you can see for the bits that go behind, there are like little raised pockets for them. You can see on my fingers tracing now. Goes up, across, and back down again, and there should be a finger, plastic finger, straight one goes in there, and these ones you can still see. Push all that in, and then shoot to the back real quick with a Torx in your hand, and get the two back ones in. Just put them in roughly, and then you can work your way around all the others, get them all in, and only then tighten them up. It's a massive faff, but practice makes perfect. So once you get these two in, you can work your way around and put all the clips and the Torxes back in. So to fill it up, I'm using this Total Quartz 5W30. It's a synthetic. You need a synthetic with a turbo engine really. got my fancy filler nozzle, and I'm going to put 4.5, 5 litres in. So put quite a bit in, and then just check your dipstick down here until you get to the right level, and then we'll do the air filter, which is over here. So oil's now done, cap's back in, dipstick's correct now, about 4.5 litres to fill this up. Next job is the air filter, which lives in this plastic box here. I think we might have to take the cover off the battery here, but we'll see what the access is like. We'll take this cover off and then I'll show you the air filter. Right, to get the airbox open, black screw here, Phillips head, same there. You'd have to take these all the way out. You can leave a pointy bit on the end, and then you need to lift this side up and push the cover that way, because there's a tab here that hooks under these bits. So this bit here, look, has got like a little hook on it. So lift up, push that way, and you can get the filter out, which is already out. I took this Jubilee clip off here because I thought I might have to take this hose off. You don't have to do that, and there's a pipe on here which you don't have to touch. You can get it off, and it fits in that way up with the rubber on the top. Now this didn't look too dirty when I first took it out, but we compare it to the new one, you can see how black it is. There's lots of little bits of muck in there, so well worth changing, even when you look at it and think maybe not. So that'll go in there in the end, and then hook the tabs in, 2 screws in, Jubilee clip back on, that's my fault, then that's done. So to get it back on, Phillips there, Phillips head there, you need to take this Jubilee clip off, push this rubber pipe off so you can get the lid up high enough to get these tabs in. I've taken the battery cover off here as well to give me a bit more access to show you. Tab, tab, tab and tab, so the tabs hook under these pieces, and then just push down on this side and put these 2 screws in, and then obviously put this hose back on. But that's essentially it. So air filter done, oil filter changed. We just need to reset the service indicator inside, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. Right, now we're going to cover how to do the service interval one, and if I turn the ignition on, you see in the middle it comes at service straight away. So what you need to do is press in this little right hand button, the little silver one, push and hold that in, and then turn the ignition on, and then as soon as you see service you press this one. Now on some of them it says you need to turn this one, but we'll have a go at pressing it and see what happens. So this button in before you turn the key, and as soon as it says service, press the left one and service should disappear. Now let me see if I can set up the camera so you can see it happen, which could be a bit of a challenge. Right, well I failed miserably trying to film that, but I'll show you what happened. So now when you turn it on, so I held this in and it says service, and then immediately press the left one, and then it says service in and then so many miles. So this one works out from how you drive the car how much you need before the next service. I think this one come up at about 8,000 odd miles. But that's it, it's now reset and it thinks everything's wonderful. So hope you enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that other good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.